An earthquake, also known as quake, tremor, or temblor, is the shaking of the surface of the earth resulting from a sudden release of energy in the earth's lithosphere that creates seismic waves. Earthquakes can range in intensity from those that are so weak that they cannot be felt to those violent enough to propel objects and people into the air, damage critical infrastructure, and wreak destruction across entire cities. The seismic activity of an area is the frequency, type, and size of earthquakes experienced over a particular time period. The seismicity at a particular location in the Earth is the average rate of seismic energy release per unit volume. The word tremor is also used for non-earthquake seismic rumbling.
To do before an earthquake. First, make sure you have a fire extinguisher, first aid kit, a battery-powered radio, a flashlight, and extra batteries at home. Second, learn first aid. Third, learn how to turn off the gas, water, and electricity. Fourth, make up a plan of where to meet your family after an earthquake and don't leave heavy objects on shelves because they might fall during a quake. Fifth, anchor heavy furniture, cupboards, and appliances to the walls or floor. And lastly, learn the earthquake plan at your school or workplace.
What to do during an earthquake? Stay calm. If you're indoors, stay inside. If you're outside, stay outside. If you're indoors, stand against the wall near the center of the building. Stand in a doorway or crawl under heavy furniture, example, desk or a table. Stay away from windows and outside doors. If you're outside doors, stay in the open away from power lines or anything that might fall. Stay away from buildings. Example, stuff might fall off the building or the building could fall in you. Don't use matches, candles, or any flame. Broken gas lines and fire don't mix. If you're in a car, stop the car and stay inside the car until the earthquake stops. And don't use elevators. What to do after an earthquake? First is check yourself and others for injuries. Provide first aid for anyone who needs it. Second is check water, gas, electric lines for damage. If any are damaged, turn off the bulbs. Third is check the smell of the gas. If you smell it, open all the windows and doors. Leave immediately and report it to the authorities. Fourth is turn on the radio. Don't use the phone unless it's an emergency. Stay out of damaged buildings. The fifth is be careful around broken glass and debris. Wear boots or sturdy shoes to keep them from cutting your feet. Be careful of chimneys, they may fall on you. The sixth is stay away from beaches. Tsunamis and seas sometimes hit after the ground has stopped shaking. And lastly, stay away from damaged areas. If you're at school or work, follow the emergency plan or instruction of the person in charge. Expect aftershock. Keep safe.
A tornado forms a large thunderstorm. Inside thunderclouds, warm, humid air rises, while cool air falls along with rain or hail. These conditions can cause spinning air currents inside the cloud. Although the spinning currents start out horizontal, they can turn vertical and drop down from the cloud, becoming a tornado.
Know the signs of a tornado, including a rotating funnel-shaped cloud, an approaching cloud of debris, or a cloud roar like a frightened train. Pay attention to weather reports. Meteorologists can predict when conditions might be right for a tornado. The next best protection is a small interior, windowless room or a basement on the lowest level of a sturdy building. Prepare for long-term stay at home or sheltering in place by gathering emergency supplies, cleaning supplies, non-perishable foods, water, medical supplies, and medication.
Immediately go to a safe location that you have identified. Pay attention to emergency alert system or in National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration weather radio or local alerting systems for current emergency information and instructions. Protect yourself by covering your head or neck with your arms and putting materials such as furniture and blankets around or on top of you. Do not try to outrun a tornado in a vehicle if you are in a car. If you are in a car or outdoors and cannot get to a building, cover your head and neck with your arms and cover your body with a coat or blanket if possible.
Save your phone calls for emergencies and use text messaging or social media to communicate with family and friends. Pay attention to EAS, NOAA, weather radio, and local authorities for updated information. Stay clear of falling power, lines, or broken utilities. Contact your healthcare provider if you are sick and need medical attention. Wait for further care instructions and continue to shelter in place. Wear appropriate gear during cleanup such as thick-soled shoes, long pants, and wear gloves. Use appropriate face coverings or masks if cleaning mold or other debris.
A typhoon is a mature tropical cyclone that develops between 180° and 100° in the northern hemisphere. This region is referred to as the Northwestern Pacific Basin and is the most active tropical cyclone basin on Earth, accounting for almost one-third of the world's annual tropical cyclone.
Before a typhoon, have a disaster plan, board up windows, know where all the evacuation routes are, prepare a disaster supply kit for your home and car, have enough food and water for at least 3 days including first aid kit, have some cash handy banks and ATMs, maybe temporary clothes, and make sure your car is filled with gasoline.
During a typhoon, stay away from low-lying and flood-prone areas. Leave mobile homes and go to a shelter. If your home is in a higher ground, go to a shelter and
After a typhoon, check injured or trapped people without putting yourself in danger. Watch out for the flooding which can happen after a typhoon. Do not attempt to drive in the flooding water. Stay away from standing water. It may be electrically charged from the underground or downed power lines. Do not drink tap water until officially said safe to do so.
What is flood, and what to do before, during, and after flood?
Floods are the most frequent type of natural disaster that occur when an overflow of water submerges land that usually dry. Floods are caused by heavy rainfall or rapid snow melt or storm surge from a tropical cyclone and tsunami in coastal areas. Floods can cause widespread devastation resulting in loss of life and damages to personal property. There are three common types of floods: flash floods, river floods, and coastal floods. Flash floods are caused by rapid and excessive rainfall that raises water heights, and river streams, channels, or roads may be overtaken. River floods are caused when consistent rain or snow melt forces a river to exceed capacity. Coastal floods are caused by storm surges associated with tropical cyclones and tsunami.
What to do before a flood?
To prepare for a flood, you should build an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Avoid building in a floodplain unless you elevate and reinforce your home. Elevate the furnace, water heater, and electric panel in your home if you live in an area that has high flood risk. Consider installing check valves to prevent flood water from backing up into the drains of your home. If visible, construct barrier to stop flood water from entering the building and steel walls in the basement with waterproofing compounds.
What to do during a flood?
During a flood, if a flood is likely in your area, you should listen to the radio or television for information. Be aware that flash flooding can occur. If there is any possibility of a flash flood, move immediately higher ground. Do not wait for instruction to move. Be aware of stream, drain channel, canyons, and other areas known to flood suddenly. Flash floods can occur in this area with or without typical warnings such as rain, clouds, or heavy rain. If you must prepare to evacuate, you should do the following. Secure your home. If you have time to bring in outdoor furniture, move essential items to an upper floor. Turn off, utilize at the main switch or valves instructed to do so. Disconnect electrical appliances. Do not touch electrical equipment if you are wet or standing in water.
What to do after a flood?
After a flood, your home has been flooded. Although floodwaters may be down in some areas, many dangers still exist. Here are some things to remember in days ahead. Avoid moving water. Stay away from damaged areas unless your assistance has been specifically requested by police, fire, or relief organization. Emergency workers will be assisting people in flooded areas. You can help them by staying off the roads and out of the way. Return home only when authorities indicate it is safe. Roads may still be closed because they have been damaged or are covered by water. Barricades have been placed for your protection. If you come upon a barricade or a flooded road, go another way. If you must walk or drive in areas that have been flooded, stay on firm ground. Moving water only 6 inches deep can sweep you off your feet. Standing water may be electrically charged from underground or drowned power lines. Flooding may have caused familiar places to change. Floodwaters often erode roads and walkways. flood's debris may hide animals and broken bottles, and it's also slippery. Avoid walking or driving through it. Be aware of areas where floodwaters have receded. Roads may have weakened and could collapse under the weight of a car. Stay out of any building if it is surrounded by floodwater. Use extreme caution when entering buildings. There may be hidden damage, particularly in foundations.